discuss enzymes and homeostasis. When you go outside and it's really hot, your body temperature increases and you heat up. And the opposite is true. When you go outside and it's really cold, your body temperature will decrease and you cool down. So why does your body spend so much energy trying to maintain a constant temperature? The answer has to do with proteins, especially enzymes, and they're influenced by temperature. What enzymes do is they help perform many of the chemical reactions inside of every cell of your body. So here's an example of an enzyme and a chemical reaction. So notice on the left we have our reactants, one molecule, and we have an enzyme, that's the blue one down below. And when they attach together, the enzyme will help perform the chemical reaction. What the enzyme will do is either help break apart the molecule, I call it cutting, or help build a molecule, attach two things together, and we can call that glue. So enzymes cut or glue molecules. So all chemical reactions actually need the starting energy. We call it activation energy to do a chemical reaction, to start that chemical reaction. And a good analogy of this activation energy would be like lighting a match and then throwing it on some kindling, some firewood to start the fire. Notice the campfire needed that starting energy, that lit match in order to actually start. It needed that activation energy in order to start. Well, this is true about all chemical reactions. It needs this activation energy in order to start. Well, what enzymes do is enzymes speed up a chemical reaction by reducing the amount of that initial activation energy. So over on the right, we have a graph representing activation energy without an enzyme, and you notice the amount of energy needed to do the chemical reaction was higher. That's the black arrow up above. Needs more energy to do that. And then notice the amount of energy needed to do a chemical reaction with an enzyme, that's the one in red, is less. That's how enzymes speed up a chemical reaction. You just need less starting energy. So, enzymes must have the stable environment in order to function correctly. And homeostasis is all about maintaining this stable environment. So enzymes usually have a fairly narrow range within their environment that they can actually operate at. We call this the set point. So what are some things that affect enzyme activity? Well, temperature is critical. Acid and base level, we call that pH. Salts, and even the amount of reactants needed to perform the chemical reaction can influence the activity. So what happens when temperature or pH or the amount of salts is out of balance, is out of the normal set point range for that enzyme? Well, the enzyme can become denatured, meaning its shape can change and it stops typically functioning. So, as a reminder, a protein's shape determines its function, and when you change that shape, it changes the function. And a lot of times, the function just stops working. A good analogy for denaturing an enzyme would be like, look at the center nail next to the hammer. It's all straight, ready to hit into the wood, everything working fine. So that nail would be a normal functioning protein. But you notice all the bent nails? So if you would hit it with a hammer, it's not going to work too well or not work at all. And those bent nails would represent changing the shape of a protein. So once the shape is changed, it can't function anymore. I hope this helps. Thanks for listening.